High performance psychology. So this will be my last video to you guys for the semester. It is our final week 10 of this whole thing, this fiasco that we've had. So I will be posting today, and then on Thursday we have our group meetup. I will resend that remind in case you haven't gotten that. That's coming into your school email. And so, this is going to be our final lecture. And so, playing a little Miley Cyrus today, The Climb. Another one of my favorite songs for the graduation time of the year. So as you can see, I'm going to challenge myself today with my growth mindset. I am headed out to the golf course today, which I think is one of the hardest sports to keep a strong mindset through an entire, however many hours it takes you to get through 18. So we'll see how that goes today. I took a 9-year break from that sport because my mindset was probably not in the greatest place and I wasn't enjoying the sport. And recently, during this quarantine, I've rediscovered golf and I'm loving it. So I think a lot of it has to do with the mindset. So let's lower Miley here and let's get started with our lecture today. So we have one more point of our leadership points, our last of our dozen points that we're going to talk about today. And then I have one small little assignment for you. You can make it kind of bigger if you want to. If this whole unit has been beneficial to you, I would highly recommend the additional assignment in here. Let's go ahead and talk. So our 12th point, our final point, is how you represent yourself and your team with class and pride today. Let me expand on that. Leaders have the awesome privilege and responsibility of representing their teams. Take advantage of this opportunity by representing your team with class and pride. Hold the door open for somebody. Sit in the front row of classes. I mean, I'm sure your coaches have told you that before. Sit in the front row. Be attentive. Be actively engaged. Say please and thank you. Be respectful. It's why coaches have you dress up on game days oftentimes, is because it is a respect for the game. It's a respect for the team. Represent your team with class. When you're in uniform, you are your team. So when you're in uniform, you are Eagle Valley High School. You are representing Eagle Valley High School more than anybody else, simply because when you walk out into society with that uniform on, people know, oh, you must be on that team. Whereas like a coach may or may not have anything with the team logo on it. And, you're representing the team more than possibly even the team coach, for people that may not know anything about your team. Represent your team with pride. It reflects highly on the school. As a coach over the course of 20 years, one of my favorite things was I loved getting emails from some random person in society that happened to engage with my team or members of my team when we were on a trip or something like that. And then I would get an email that would say something like, your team was amazing. They were courteous. They were kind. Just from some random person. I've gotten them from random hotel owners, restaurant owners that just were happy to serve us and knew who we were because of the uniforms we were wearing, but because my girls were representing the school well. And so those were always really cool emails. I took pride in some of those emails, more so than even some wins that we would have. I had one girl who I think did more for our school in the way that she acted in public than any other athlete that has ever gone through that school. That young lady, she was the kindest and courteous person. And she represented our team well when she was on the court. I think I've told you guys this story before. When she was on the court, if a ref handed her the ball for the inbound play, she would turn to him and say, thank you, with a big smile. Not only did she win the sportsmanship award for the league her senior year. But she won the hearts of many refs, many coaches, which I believe helped us overall as a team. That, when push came to shove, whether consciously or unconsciously, we would get calls in our favor. And I think a lot of it had to do with Sammy, had to do with Sammy just leaving a great impression on refs. I had refs saying, I always sign up for Discovery Canyon games because I know that it's not going to be a hostile environment when I ref there. And I had a ref tell me one time that the Discovery Canyon games were always the first to go, the first ones to be for refs to sign up for, and that you couldn't find one for refs to sign up for simply because they enjoyed reffing at our venue. So that speaks a lot for your team. So represent your team with pride. That goes with, like I said, interactions with refs, interactions with people in the crowd. The one thing that will immediately turn people off to your team is your language. Watch your language in public. It's fine around your friends, but when you're in public, watch your language. It sets a really big precedence of what your team is about. Okay. I want to show you a video, and I'm going to go ahead and show it to you while I'm on screen here. This is one of my all-time favorite coaches. If you don't know who this is Gino Ariamo. He is the coach for the women's team at UConn, which is the all-time most winningest team in the women's basketball collegiate scene. So I'm going to play for you what exactly he says about this idea of representing.
Recruiting enthusiastic kids is harder than it's ever been, because every kid watches TV and they watch the NBA, or they watch Major League Baseball, or they watch the NFL, whatever sport they watch, WNBA, it doesn't matter. And what they see is people just being really cool. So they think that's how they're going to act. And they haven't even figured out which foot to use as a pivot foot, and they're going to act like they're really good players. You see it all the time. You see it at every AAU tournament. You see it every high school game. So recruiting kids that are like really upbeat and loving life and love the game and have this tremendous appreciation for when their teammates do something well, that's hard. That's hard. It's really hard. So on our team, me, my coaching staff, we put a huge premium on body language. And if your body language is bad, you will never get in the game. Ever. I don't care how good you are. If somebody says, well, you just benched Stewie for, 35 minutes in the Memphis game a couple years ago. Yeah, I did. Oh, but that was to motivate her for the South Carolina game following Monday. No, it wasn't. Stewie was acting like a 12-year-old. So I put her on the bench and said, sit there. It doesn't matter on our team. And the other coaches might say, well, you can do that because you got 3 other, All-Americans. I get that. I understand that. But I'd rather lose than watch kids play the way some kids play. I'd rather lose. And they're allowed to get away with just whatever. And they're always thinking about themselves. Me. I didn't score, so why should I be happy? I'm not getting enough minutes. Why should I be happy? That's the world that we live in today, unfortunately. And kids check the scoreboard sometimes because they're going to get yelled at by their parents if they don't score enough points. Don't get me started. So when I look at my team, they know this. When I watch game film, I'm checking what's going on the bench. And if somebody's asleep over there, somebody doesn't care, somebody's not engaged in the game, they will never get in the game. Ever. And they know that. They know I'm not kidding.
So again, just that idea of being that enthusiasm, being that spark for your teams, being engaged, being focused into the game. It's It's crazy to think, but I have heard, I have never had this happen with one of my particular players, but I have heard plenty where a athlete was being looked at by a school and basically told the coach told by the recruiter, whether that was a coach or an assistant coach, that yeah, we're going to pass. Her body language, her attitude on the court is not something we want to deal with. We want to coach the game. We don't want to coach sportsmanship. That should already be something that's already there. And that's growth mindset, guys. That's 100% growth mindset. For those of you that have approached this class with growth mindset of I'm going to have some failures, I'm going to have some setbacks, and then I'm going to do my best to try and make up those types of things, that's appreciated. That's putting into practice what we've done in this class. If you are having a hard time with that, then check yourself. Maybe you don't want a growth mindset, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. But the thing that's going to get you through life with the most satisfaction is going to be a growth mindset, and it is going to be an attitude type of situation that changes that growth mindset. So I love this. Leaders who can ignite a fire, empower, motivate, and inspire others to always strive to be their best. That is the type of leader who I want to follow and who I want and aspire to be. And this is exactly it. A leader is this match right here. Just setting that fire. And once you set that fire, it is hard to put out, but you got to keep it up. You got to keep that fire up with your teammates. Now, normally what we would have done, because we lost a lot of time, I would have been meeting with you 4 times a week as opposed to 2 times a week. We would have gotten through this. Unfortunately, we are not. Normally what I would have done is we would have taken a day at class to listen to this podcast, and I would have you guys take notes. I'm not requiring this. This is a longer podcast. It's about a 40-minute podcast, but it is a great podcast about why group culture is so important to success and how do you set that group culture. So for those of you that aren't just taking this class for a grade and you really want to know how can I help my team be more successful, be more to grow, take notes, listen to this podcast, take notes. Okay. It is a great podcast about how teams grow to be connected. But I'm not requiring that podcast because it is a longer podcast. So instead, what I am requiring for our last assignment that is due Thursday at 11:59 p.m. It has to be due Thursday, 11:59, because we're done with school and I have to get senior grades in. So it is a Thursday thing. So you want to do this assignment maybe as soon as you watch this lecture. And then I do want to talk about what we're doing for our final meetup. Okay. So you want to watch this TED Talk by Stanley McChrystal. Amazing TED Talk. It is, I believe, one of the most well done and the most filled with, oh crap, I need to remember this type of thing. So you're going to watch this TED Talk, and I realize I haven't put it in here yet, but you're just going to put in a discussion point, 2 to 3 sentences about an aha moment that you got from that TED Talk. Okay, an aha moment that you got from that TED Talk of just what hit you, that I have to remember this from that TED Talk. All right. If you go on to listen to the podcast, great. You can add something into your discussion about what you learned from that podcast if you want to, but you don't have to at all. Okay. The other thing that I want to make sure that you guys know for Thursday's class, and again, like I said, I'll resend the remind, is I want you to jump into here. And most everybody should have their final posted by 11:59 on Tuesday. Okay, so when you're seeing this video on Tuesday or Wednesday, you need to take a look at somebody else's movie clip in here. Okay, and find a movie clip that you want to talk about in class on Thursday. Okay, so find that movie clip that you think somebody put in there. gosh, what a great one there, Lindsay. Awesome choice. I just saw this. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Wow. I love that scene. That is one of my favorites. So anyway, now I'm just thinking about how I need to watch Dead Poet Society here soon. Find clip, and then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on Thursday. That is our final discussion, and we'll finish out with a bang. Okay. So you need to post your clip by Tuesday, 11:59. You need to watch somebody else's clip or a couple of people's clips so you can jump in on discussion. And that's what we're going to discuss on Thursday. All right, guys. So that's it. Gosh, that's it. Oh my gosh, crazy. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I get to see you on Thursday, which is cool. So this isn't just like the final, like my goodbye to you, which is nice because all my other class it is. I have to say bye video wise. So we'll see you on Thursday again, and we've almost made the climb. Bye, guys. I know, cheesy. Right?